Hey, Forever family, welcome back to Celebrate Recovery Crisis Response. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. I struggle with codependency, anger, and anxiety. And my name is Frankie. If this is your first time with us this week, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. What we do on Thursday nights is a little bit different than what we do on Tuesday nights. On Tuesday nights, we have a full time of worship. It's a little bit more, it's naturally longer, and then we go from there into our open share groups. And so those aren't here on a Thursday. Right here on a Thursday, you're just going to get me sharing a few announcements and then our lesson or our testimony. Speaking of, tonight's testimony is from Dawn. She does an awesome job. I just want to make sure I throw her name out there first because our video cut in a couple of minutes and into her already speaking. So again, her name is Dawn. She does an awesome job. A couple of announcements I want to mention real quick. First off, if this is your very first time with us, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. The second thing is this: we've got some step studies coming up. We need some leaders to lead those, and if you're interested in jumping in those, just let me know. Frankie@communitychurch.com. All right, if this is your very first time with us, welcome. We are so glad that you're here. Hope you guys enjoy tonight. Dawn does an awesome job with her testimony. If this is your first time, just know that people don't share their testimonies until they've been in the program for at least a year. James chapter 5, verse 16 says, confess to one another so that you may heal. And one of the things that we know quickly in our recovery process is that when we begin to talk about things, we begin to experience healing. All right, love you guys. Enjoy the testimony. We'll talk to you later.
And being aware of my thoughts, feelings, and reactions. Everything starts with my thoughts, and sometimes they're crazy. Sometimes things happen exactly the way I think they should, and I say, what an awesome job, God. That is exactly how I thought it should happen. As if he did it because he thought I had a good idea and decided to use it. When COVID began, I thought, this is okay, God. As long as I have my church, my job, and my gym, I'll be fine. The next day, the church went to online services the day after the gym closed. And the day after that, all of the employees got a furlough letter notifying us that we would work one day a week. God, that wasn't what I had in mind. My first testimony was about many things I had no control over and inappropriate things that happened that were no fault of my own. This testimony is about honesty and fear. It doesn't have an ending that's all tied up neatly. I grew up in an alcoholic home and suffered mental and physical abuse passed down from many generations on both sides of my family. I no longer feel the need to go into details because I've used the program to work through the feelings and know my parents were very broken, hurting people, and I chose to not continue the cycle. I always believed in God, but I didn't have a close relationship with him or think that he took much time to worry about me. I decided there are plenty of people in the world that are more important or have bigger problems than me. The things my parents said to me and the way I was treated made me think I was much more trouble than I was worth and not important. So I believed this was how everyone thought about me. In 2009, I was attending a CR program and in a step study group while my mother was living with terminal cancer and soon passed away. During the 3 years of my mother's illness, I saw God's goodness daily. I can't explain how it happened or how I was able to see it. But I know it was a true gift and didn't see it until someone else pointed it out. During the group sharing, I learned that several of the women had issues, questions, and uneasiness about death from their life experiences, and we were all able to talk about it and gain comfort. This is when I knew God had chosen this group of women because he knew we could learn from each other. I soon quit CR. I felt like I had worked through what I needed to, and I wasn't going to get divorced, so I just needed to learn to survive the life I was living. The day my now ex-husband spent all of the money we had from selling a successful business, closed our new business while I was at work and didn't tell me, and sold equipment that had a lien on it. Just so you know, don't ever do that. The bank gets really, really angry. I knew I was going to file for divorce. I was ruined financially, but was not going to be spiritually bankrupt. I knew I needed to go back to CR to fix me, and my daughter started going to the landing. I wasn't responsible for him or decisions he was making, but I did need to find out why I picked him and make sure I didn't do it again. I knew if I didn't change me, I would pick what's comfortable, and that wasn't healthy for me. This is in no way his fault. This was a healing I needed to do for myself. My first 3 years, I spent most of my time in the A to Z group, food issues. I wasn't sure if this was the right group for me, but I was anorexic in my 20s, and I didn't feel like I had a healthy view of food. I looked at food as a comfort, and then I would feel guilty, or I would feel confident and put together if I wasn't eating. There was no in between. My 4th year of CR was the most challenging, eye-opening, gut-wrenching, and healing. I gained clarity in many areas of my life: my weight, relationship with my father, and I looked at all my relationships. I originally came to CR this time because I was getting divorced and for the mental and financial well-being of me and my teenage daughter. I also realized I was teaching her what a marriage was supposed to look like, and I didn't want her to settle. I wanted more for her. I really wasn't sure what codependency was, but I heard it mentioned a lot, so I looked it up again. I didn't think I was codependent because I never felt loved or approved, and I was very independent. I didn't do things to make people like me. The pamphlet said codependency is worrying about how other people look or act and how it will reflect on me, not accepting people as they are, but wanting them to become who God meant them to be, even if that's not what they want. What? I thought this was the Christian thing to do, helping people live up to their potential. Why wouldn't they want my help? After all, look at me. Actually, I was a wreck. I kept coming back and read the pamphlets. The problem and the solution were helpful because I needed another thought process. Mine was not working. I also came to listen to the lessons and testimony nights. One night, I really wasn't sure what I'd have in common with a guy that has a rat rod, dresses up like an elf, has been married to a wonderful woman forever, and has it all together. Little did I know, I needed to hear and truly listen to the words he spoke. I'm sharing with this with his permission. Randy Kay said in his testimony, "If you want peace, lower your expectations." When he did this regarding his, and I'm just kind of making my own words there. This is what I heard. His relationship with his dad, the relationship changed, not because his dad changed, but because Randy changed his expectations. I thought about this for a long time. I knew there was something I was supposed to do with this, but wasn't sure how to apply it. I've been working on this for over a year and shared with people in my group, and I knew I needed this. I've now been speaking with my father again with no expectations and a clear slate in my head. No more keeping score. It wasn't good for either of us, especially me. I do have healthy boundaries now, and I don't answer the phone if my dad calls me after 6:30 our time. My mother was a recovering alcoholic, and neither of them drank for the last 20 years of her life. My father has remarried and now drinks daily. I realized I started having the feelings I had growing up, and his temper starts to show when he's drinking. So many of the habits he had when I was growing up have come back. But I now have a choice and can keep a healthy distance and choose what I will or won't listen to or believe. It has been life-changing. Thank you, Randy. When I finally looked at my dad's behavior honestly, I realized there are many things I blamed on my mom, but now understand. I can now look honestly at her behavior without judgment, and I've grieved for the dad I thought I had. One of the many blessings I have because of CR is my relationship with my daughter. It's like nothing I could have imagined. My relationship with her has helped heal me because I've been able to look at my teen years honestly and let them go. I am reminded that it's not our failings or shortcomings that impede our growth, it's the secrets. To be able to make a mistake and talk about it doesn't allow the shame and guilt to grow roots and spread. I feel like I can take a deep breath now, clean, fresh air for my soul. When I really heard the whole serenity prayer that included accepting hardships as the pathway to peace, and if I surrender to His will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with Him forever in the next, I was relieved, supremely happy with Him forever or the next. I can now see it and I believe it. There's where I find my hope. My grace is sufficient for you, 2 Corinthians 12:9. I have a journal with this verse on the cover, and I started using it while watching the sermons online. I'm starting to understand what this really means. I now believe I've been shown grace, and that allows me to show grace to others. I realized I spent a lot of time shut down or angry. I just couldn't allow myself to be hurt anymore. The pain was just too much. A verse I've been intentionally reading over and over is Exodus 33:18. Maybe it's not to see the power of God, but it's his goodness. When I was growing up, I believed God to be like my father, and his words and actions hurt me when he showed his power. Now that I believe God is my father, and I do matter, I don't look at his power as a negative trait, and I look at the beauty in his creation. My past experiences shape how I live going forward, and I'm starting a new beginning. The true gospel rewrites our purpose in life and causes our life's mission to be all about telling his story. When our love for God and people increases, so will our desire to share. I didn't talk about my food issues in my first testimony. I talked about issues I felt I had confronted honestly through my fourth step and seeing the patterns in my life. Abuse from parents and medical professionals, being molested for years by a boy younger than me while our parents drank together and put all the kids in the same room to sleep, and being raped in college. About 8 weeks ago, I started having chest pains. I have a family history of heart disease, and I've been on blood pressure medicine for years. I didn't go to the ER. I don't recommend this self-diagnosing like this all the time, but for me, I knew it was a sign that something needed to change. I needed to change because I didn't want to die. I needed to look openly and honestly at my weight and what I was or wasn't doing to contribute to my overall health. I was working out regularly, but my weight was going up, which meant my blood pressure meds were increasing. It was time to stop the merry-go-round and do something different. I realized after being in CR for over 5 years, I had a fear of losing weight, not of getting healthy. Many years ago, the scales decided if I was a good or bad person. I didn't want to live like a prisoner again. I had a fear of going back to my thin body, which was very accepted in the world's eyes. But they didn't know the emptiness and the pain I hid. I was afraid to be thin and not have peace. When I don't feel like coming to CR is always when I need to be here. It helps my mind get right. I get a reality check and hear something on a lesson I didn't previously hear. I used to weigh every morning and decide if I was a good person or a bad person. Usually I was a failure again. When I didn't eat, I felt strong, confident, disciplined. But I finally realized I didn't feel anything, and I was slowly hurting myself and the temple God gave me. I was young and thin and very accepted by the world physically, yet I was an empty shell. I've been journaling more lately, even though Ed has suggested it for many years a lot. And let's see. And it's given me clarity, and questions come that I didn't even know I had. For today, I measure my healthiness in how I feel and how much medication I'm on. A little over a year ago, I was on 3 pills and 300 milligrams of blood pressure meds a day. Today, I'm on 1 pill and 50 milligrams. I need CR to remind me to look at myself honestly, one day at a time, and celebrate the wins. Many years ago, I went to a 12-step group on overeating and realized we all had the same thoughts. We just acted on it differently. God created food for his purpose, to fuel my body. Self-induced starvation I thought was normal until I was getting ready to go to my sister's wedding and realized I could count my ribs. That's when I got honest. Healing begins when we change our beliefs about who we are. My autobiography in 5 short chapters. Chapter 1, I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It wasn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I still don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. It isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there, I still fall in. It's habit, it's my fault. I know where I am, I get out immediately. Chapter 4, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5, I walk down a different street. Today I pick a different street, and I don't go alone. On my own, I can rationalize anything and everything. This year, God removed some people from my life that I thought were friends for a lifetime, and it hurt. A friend I'd had for many years accidentally sent me a text about me and what she would say if she really wanted to hurt me. I was shocked, hurt, and mad. She also said that God must have had her do it because he knew that she wasn't strong enough to tell me. I don't believe God had anything to do with that. But now that I'm in CR, I was able to not let those words become my truth and to know that this person was maybe the best friend she could be at the time and that she had pain because no one goes around wanting to hurt people. I was also hurt because none of the mutual friends stood up for me, and then I realized everyone has their own hurts, habits, and hang-ups. This has taken me months to get to this today. CR has helped me learn how to laugh and enjoy life, which consists of ups and downs. I'm able to have more real relationships and be happy and healthy from the inside out. I'm still working on my relationship with food, but speaking today makes the fear and unrealistic expectations seem smaller. I'm now blessed to have a man in mind in my daughter's life that is honest and respects us. He treats us with kindness and wants what is best for us and to succeed. He also loves the Lord and his church family and is very important to him. I'm glad my daughter can see us laughing together and doing life together, so she knows life is much better when you're united as a couple. If this is your first time, congratulations. You are much stronger than you think, and you don't ever have to walk this path alone. This is one of the best decisions you can make for yourself. I've cried more happy tears this year because when I take care of my body and mind, I am present in life. Things don't always go as I think they should, but they are always part of God's plan. For this, I'm grateful. Thank you.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as the pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next. Amen.